Hey there YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a book club video where I'm going to talk about 5 of my favorite non-fiction books that I've been reading lately and just sort of give you a little brief overview of each and why I like them or don't like them or what I think about them. And I will also be writing a bit of a book club blog on each of these books just to give a little bit more of an in-depth overview. So if you're thinking about investing your time into reading them but not really quite sure and want that little bit more information, make sure you go over and check out my blog, evolvelivingblog.com, and you can find more info. But let's just get started. And first one up for today is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I just finished this one not that long ago, and essentially it's kind of all about creativity, harnessing your creativity. I liked the start of it. I think the start of it was really inspirational and sort of talked about why we have creativity, you know, what happens if it leaves us, how can we sort of harness it back, and you know, that idea of being inspired and I guess the image of an artist having to be one of pain and struggle, and how she really her purpose is kind of just to scrap that image and recreate what the image of the artist is. So I kind of liked that idea of things, and I think that I would read it again, but I would probably only read the start of the book. I found that towards the end it kind of just became not necessarily repetitive, but the information kind of just didn't seem as useful. Some of the things that I really took from it were when it was talking about your audience and response to the things that you create. And that I found particularly true of when writing a blog. I guess I haven't had a lot of negative feedback when it comes to my blog, but the 1 or 2 things that people have said about it, I've really taken, I guess, personally, and felt that meant that my work wasn't good enough, or that I had to change my work or whatnot. And I guess the biggest thing that I took from this is that not everyone is going to like your work, and that the important part is actually just being really authentic and true to you. And I guess the same thing happens in everyday life. Like, not everyone believes the same thing as you, so you can't try and make people, like the things that you create. There are probably going to be people who don't even like this YouTube video, but the point is that I'm talking about something that I love and I'm feeling passionate and creative from it. And that experience is bigger almost than the experience of people liking or even reading or watching your work or viewing or whatever it is that you create. So I really liked that aspect of things, and I definitely think that I took some great tips from it in relation to blogging and YouTubing. I think that it's a good read for anyone who sort of is in the creative industry or wants to be more creative in their life. But if you can borrow it from someone, it potentially might be better than buying it, because I just think that, yeah, the gold wasn't the whole way through. Which differs very much to You're About Us by Jen Sincero, where I did find that the gold was the whole way through. And I recently just wrote a blog giving a bit of my feedback on this book. I loved it. I loved that that it was super inspiring, that there was a whole heap of new information that I hadn't really thought of before. It kind of delves into the way that we think, and it's all about how to create the life that you want, and changing your thinking is, I guess, the first step in doing that. I love that it brings in the law of attraction, and kind of the idea that if you want something in your life, you first need to believe that it already exists. It's already created for your life. So I really liked this one. I particularly like how at the end of each of the chapters there's this little section that says love yourself and a reason why. And that's kind of like a consistent theme throughout. So I think this one is solid gold the whole way through. So I would totally recommend it. I am definitely going to be reading it again and reading the whole book again, because I think then I'll pick up on some things maybe I missed, or just remind myself of stuff that perhaps I've forgotten. My next one is The Year of Less by Kate Flanders. This one kind of turned out a little bit different than what I had anticipated it to be. I guess when I first ordered it, because I don't really have a bookshop close by, so I buy all of my books online. And when I first ordered it, I kind of thought that it would be like a how-to guide on saving money, and in some senses it is, but I also like how each of the chapters is a month in her life and what she was doing in her life to kind of at that point to be amongst the year of less. How was she progressing? And it's kind of I guess her true story of saving money, cutting down spending, cutting down the amount of stuff in her house, cutting out drinking, and changing her relationship with food and friends and family. And I think that's the thing that I like about this, because it is her personal story, not necessarily like a how-to guide. I really was able to connect with her as the author, but also just as a regular person, also a blogger who's just trying to save money, live a minimal life, enjoy the meaningful things in life. And I think that was the thing that made this book epic. Will I go back and read it again? Yes. But I think probably it'll be more of like a skimming, going to different sections and reminding myself of, okay, well, how did she approach that issue, and sort of getting some more inspiration. And I think that this is going to be one of the ones that a few of my friends will also be interested in reading. So I think this will be a circulated one as well. So also recommend, would read it again, but probably would just look at different sections for kind of inspiration. My fourth book is Girl Boss, which I'm actually only like about almost halfway through at the moment. I have watched the TV show, so I kind of get a sense of like the backstory of how Sophia Amoruso kind of came to become so successful, and her tips and whatnot. I feel like I'm enjoying it so far. I like how she's sort of bringing her personal life, her story in, just being a regular girl, and how the tips and tricks and strategies and whatever that she sort of implemented in order to become successful. So I like that there's that really personal aspect of things, but I like how she's also kind of bringing in that knowledge and sort of making it like, I guess, steps for regular people to take as well, a bit of a how-to for everyone. So I am enjoying it so far. I prefer this book to the TV show. I think the TV show was cool in the sense that it portrayed her journey, but I think that it didn't reveal, I guess, her perspective on things where the book can, okay? So I'm enjoying this one so far and don't really have anything, I guess, negative to say about it so far. And I'm looking forward to finishing it off. And my fifth and final book, I actually don't have here because I've lent it to a co-worker and there are more people waiting to get their hands on it. So I think it'll be doing the loops, is The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving Up. Beep. Insert the F word there. Literally, I read it over the summer holidays, absolutely changed my life. And I think that I will certainly be reading it again and just looking at different sections just to remind myself. But there is also a TED Talk where she kind of does, like, in a nutshell, what is this book about? That's really valuable. So if you're not sure on whether you want to get it or if you think it's necessary for your life, check out the TED Talk. I think it's basically just by the same name if you just type that into YouTube. And I think that it's stuff that inherently people already know, but it's just this no holds bars, really brutal way of telling people to get their life together, and I guess how you can do that. And essentially the strategy is to work out what you do care about versus what you have to care about, expected to care about, people manipulate you or guilt you into caring about. Think about, okay, what do you actually care about? What do you give an F about? And once you sort those into two categories, and now you know the things that you don't care about, you can start using the not sorry method to not care about those things. So not sorry being using honesty and politeness to, I guess, tell people that you don't care about those things, or just find a way to eliminate those things from your life. And once you've cleared out the space that those things, those cares and worries and concerns and whatever were taking up, now you've got more time, energy and money to sort of put into the things that you do care about. And I know that over the last 6 months, I've really been trying to use that in my life, while not being an a-hole. And I think that obviously it's a process, and I've got a lot of learning to go, but I guess it just opened the door to change my thinking. And then by the time you put in Girl Boss, The Year of Less, You're a Badass, and Big Magic, and you sort of apply all these different ways of thinking, this inspiration, these books are literally helping me to cultivate the life that I want to live, and changing my mindset and being more positive. And I never thought that I would be able to get that much inspiration from a book. But honestly, these 5 reads are really, really recommended and worth the read. But there are so many books out there, and I definitely want to start getting into more, I guess. Initially, I never would have looked at half of these because I thought that they were kooky or a bit out there or whatever. But I'm really glad that I took the chance and, decided to pick up some of these books recommended by other people, other YouTubers, etc. And I think hopefully I can find some more gems out there as well. But if you have any other book suggestions, please leave them down below and I'll definitely check them out. If you liked this video, want to see more sort of recommendation videos, books, movies, TV shows, makeup, whatever, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more health, fitness and lifestyle content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.